and welcome back to my channel. My name's Hayley and I'm one of the regional ministers in the Northern Baptist Association, and I'm also currently president of Baptist Together. So if you're new to this channel, thank you. It's brilliant to see you. In these vlogs, I just take you on the journey of what I'm up to amongst our Baptist family. Sometimes that's local, sometimes that's national. And this week is a week of all over the shop. So last week, the last vlog was I was in Chipping Sodbury. I've now learned how to say it, in Bristol, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. I am now, I then had a week kind of Zoom stuff in the Northern Baptist Association. I popped down to Didcot for the day because we did some kind of Digital Avengers stuff. That's not our official title. Our official title is Changemakers, and it's the project that kind of this time last year, Hannah, Andy, Carl and I started dreaming of, and we spent the day recently in Bristol together, but Andy, Hannah and I went to Baptist House, where we met with some of the teams just to explain the project and explore some synergy between the specialist teams and this missional resource. So that's amazing. I didn't film any of that because it was probably just the day's content, and actually I was tired, and yeah. So today is Saturday. It's Saturday and I am just about to leave my house to go to Manchester. Luther King House is in Manchester, which is the home of Northern Baptist College, and today is their community day, which includes the kind of valedictory service as they validify, commission, send out their students that are settling or have settled and are starting new posts, and also to celebrate those that are currently studying. So I have the honour of sharing at that. This time last year I did the one for South Wales, so yeah, it feels really nice to be doing it because I was just leaving South Wales and now having just started in the north to do it here. So that's what I'm doing. It's really sunny, so I'm a little bit shiny because I had to put suntan lotion on, because when you're as pasty as me, you have to be really careful in these ways. Anyway, so let's go to Manchester first. Woohoo! Morning. I'm in another Premier Inn. Ah, man. But this time in Cardiff. And this is a much smaller one than I'm used to. I've got, it's literally just a bed and a really tiny desk. There's no sofa, which is, well, as I travel around Premier Inns and ranking them. I'm not ranking them. Anyway, yes, so all my life, the valedictory service and community day was amazing at Northern Baptist College. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for allowing me to share in that really special moment. It's so wonderful when you get to meet the students that are currently studying and those that are kind of stepping out into newly accredited ministry. It just gives life. And what was fascinating, what was great was the majority were females that were finishing this year their studies, which is great. It's readdressing the balance. And someone did say to me, oh, men can be called too. Yes, they can. God calls men and women. But for so long, women weren't called. They were called, sorry. They just weren't recognised by our structures. So it's wonderful to see the balance being readdressed. So there's that. And majority of them are doing amazing pioneer work in their communities, which again is fantastic. We as church love kind of traditional forms of church, established forms of church, but we also recognise that new forms need to be developed in order to make us relevant for our culture and to bring the gospel to a different generation. So that was amazing to see. So I then jumped in the car for a journey down to Wales. So I'm now in South Wales and I'm about to head to Bethel Baptist Church. This is one of the churches in Cardiff, and I'll be doing a live podcast later on. So yeah, let's go and explore what building a bigger table means for the guys at Bethel Baptist Church. Oh, I've got to add, like, Bethel Baptist Church, Whitchurch in Cardiff, because I was regional minister here for a little while in South Wales, and there's a lot of churches called Bethel. This one is in Whitchurch in Cardiff. Let's go. Wow, so yesterday I had a great time at Bethel Baptist Church. It was just wonderful to be with them. Really good, they're doing some awesome stuff. Sorry, the lighting is awful, isn't it? Oh, that's alright. They're doing some great stuff. This morning I am in Annan. I'm going to be speaking with some church leaders around what it is to build a bigger table. Very narrow roads in South Wales, I forgot that. So that was a joy. But yeah, today I am in Annan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I've got that wrong. Because I'm talking to church leaders about how can we be leaders that build a bigger table? What lessons can we learn? So yeah, come along. Oh my life, I'm now home. I've just spent like 6 hours sweating in a car. Actually, I say that, I wasn't sweating in the car, I had the aircon on. So yes, so the last you would have seen me, I would have been at Annan. I'm really sorry, Wales. I was at a church talking to church leaders about how we become leaders that build a bigger table. And it was really good. And I think for some of it, it's so challenging for people. They just can't comprehend and get their heads around it. So one of the video clips I use is the short of Pixar called Pearl. And basically it's about work culture and how we change that and how we adapt and our behaviour. And so I get people to kind of reflect on that. And some people can do that really well, and some really, really struggle with it. And I think it's just when you're talking about this stuff, it is tricky, it is difficult, because we've got to examine ourselves and look at why our behaviour might lead people to not want to be at the table. So that was good. Also then the live podcast that we did was great, kind of question and answer session. And I will just name it and own it. And I said it if you watch the live podcast, and I'll put the links to the videos below. Nothing says building a bigger table than 3 cis white people. And it's just naming that, actually, that as I go around the country trying to encourage different voices, we don't always get it right. We don't always get the right balance, and I'm challenging associations when I kind of say to them, look, if you're going to put me on a panel with people, can it's all come from a diverse background, you know, and in theology as well, not just this. And by diversity, I mean everything from social economic diversity to gender to ethnicity. You know, let's really be intentional without being tokenistic. So that was great, John and Amy. I went back to theirs for some lunch between 2 services on the Sunday, and I didn't shout out. Sorry, John. John is an amazing cook. I got a bit of a rib for calling his food lovely. It was very, very nice. Just a disclaimer, if ever you invite the guest preacher around for dinner afterwards and you expect them to do an evening service, spaghetti and meatballs probably isn't the best. But it was a challenge that I embraced, and thankfully I didn't get it all over me, which was even better. But it was just lovely hanging out with John and Amy, just laughing. It's really good. It's really, really good. So thank you, John and Amy, for your hospitality. Yes, then afterwards, after the church, I stayed on for a meeting in South Wales because I'm part of the search team for seeking a new regional minister there. So we were chatting through that, which was good. And then Tuesday, I used the day to catch up with some people, which was really, really good. So I went to another church function with Mark, who's a team leader there. So I got to meet some more people, just listening to them and the kind of struggles and encouragements as church communities they have at the moment, which was great. And then I met Emma, which was amazing. Yeah. And then I drove home. So I'm now home. So that was my whistle-stop tour of Manchester and South Wales. And thank you for watching. I daily update what I'm doing, kind of daily, if it's of any interest, on any of my social media channels, which you can find here. Please do give me a like, follow, subscribe and share. And if you do subscribe, you will make sure never to miss any of the quality content. What I will give a big shout out, which there's going to be more prep to, is in a few weeks' time, I'm going to be walking the Yorkshire 3 Peaks. I don't walk. But the reason we're doing this is to raise money for Home Mission. I've linked some Home Mission videos in the description below. Do check those out, and please do donate. Because I really want this to be worthwhile, because it's going to be quite painful. It's going to be quite a challenge. So please do sponsor, and then some vlogs will follow about why Home Mission is so important and why we're doing this challenge. But yeah, that's it. I've been me, you've been you. Thanks for sharing this journey, and I will see you next time.